All right, we're live.
Hooray! Hi, everybody.
Hi, I'm trying to move the thing so I could see the chat too.
Oh, I need to do that too.
I'm trying to figure out what my rabbit is doing on the other side of the room right now.
Eating any other plants that you have, probably?
She looks like she's managed to get behind all the picture cover frames that are blocking one of the extension cords from her being able to eat it, and she's walking behind them. And
So
potentially,
you might have a house fire, is that what you're telling me?
or a dead bunny, one of the two.
Wasn't expecting something so harsh from you today.
Sorry. No, she's come out now. She has actually eaten my fridge cord before. Like, once I came home from work and she had escaped from her cage, climbed under the couch and eaten my fridge cord in half, so I didn't have a fridge. And it was a Friday night, so I had to have no fridge for the whole weekend until I could get another electrician to come.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. She's lucky not to be dead, either from the fridge cord or from me.
The calm fury of Jasmine.
So you guys want to do the icebreaker questions?
Yes, I do. I need to find your live stream thing so I can find the chat. I got distracted. Someone else start, because I'm finding the chat.
Okay. So what song would you say is you? It doesn't necessarily need to be your favorite song, but which one just really resonates with you personally?
For me, that's Love Story by Taylor Swift, but that's just because it's like my song, mine and my husband's song. Like, it came out when we first started dating, and then it was just like,
That's cute.
I watched that one too.
That's a heartwarming story. I actually enjoyed that. Thank you.
Aww. Need to think more.
Mine, I actually have probably like 50, but most recently, because on the drive home, the song War by Icon for Hire came on. And that one I absolutely adore. And I think it has a really good message overall. Basically, it's talking about perseverance and trying to be with someone even when they're going through a hard time. So I really like that one.
Oh man, now it's on to me again and I still haven't thought of a song.
No pressure. Oh, the pressure.
Pressure.
So much pressure. Okay. And genuinely, this is one of those moments where I've like mentally blanked and can't even think of one song, let alone a song that would be important to me.
I hate when that happens.
What's a song? What is a song?
The Hokey Pokey.
What's a song you listen to a lot lately? What the heck, dude?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Say hi. Hi. What is on your nose? Yogurt? Yogurt.
I think, okay. One song that I can think of that not necessarily my favorite song, but has a important story to me would be Roll Jordan Roll, which is from like the soundtrack of 12 Years a Slave with John Legend. And the reason why that is at least important to me is because that was like the first song that we sang as part of the singing group that I got together 4 years ago. So that was like the first song that 8 of us girls ever sang together as a group. And now whenever I listen to that song, I think about that singing group and the fact that we sang together for 3 years.
Aww,
I like it.
Yay! Thought of something. Hey, Crescent Moon Reads is here.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
What's your song, Crescent? That's not your name. Your name is Rhiannon. Everyone's like, hey, hi, how you doing?
What's your...
Should I ask my question?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. If you could be in any movie, which movie would you act in and what character would you play? If you can't narrow it down, I'll let you pick a couple because I can't.
In a movie?
Yeah.
Just who we would want or like who we are most like?
Who you want to be. Regardless of realisticness.
I'm Triss then from Divergent.
Excellent.
So this is a bit of a long answer, but have either of you seen the movie Tokyo Godfathers? It's an animated movie that I believe was only shot in Japanese.
No.
Gotta read subtitles. I'm terrible with other languages. But the whole premise of the movie is that 3 homeless people, a young girl and 2 older guys, find a baby in a pile of garbage in the week leading up to Christmas. And so they're trying to find the baby's parents, see why they would do this. And it's just a very heartwarming story, again, about perseverance. There might be a theme here with me, but overall, it's just talking about how even when things are difficult, there's always something worth striving towards. And I would want to be probably any of the people in the background, because at the very end, there's the big climactic scene ends up getting on the news, and I would like to have seen that actually happen. If that makes sense.
That was intensely well thought out.
I used my thinking brain for that one.
I don't have a thinking brain.
Not your unthinking brain.
I would be Farah in A Court of Thorns and Roses because I'm just a big fangirl with no interesting thinking brain moments going on. Either that or Belle from Beauty and the Beast, because it breaks my heart that they auto-tuned all the singing in the live remake, and I want to do that again.
Yeah, I could definitely hear it.
You've got to film a musical. Don't auto-tune it. It doesn't make any sense. It's like filming a movie about running and then animating all the running scenes. What? No one does that.
My question's similar to yours, but so it is. If a movie was made of your life, what actor or actress would play you?
Love it. I nearly picked that.
He's got wicked hair. Benedict Cumberbatch, hands down.
Oh, I love it. Benedict Cumberbatch would be perfect for you.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. My guess, if you're gonna go in like terms of looks, maybe like somewhere between child actress Emma Watson or like Jennifer Lawrence with dark hair, maybe. I don't know.
I could see both of those.
I picked Winona Ryder.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I agree with this wholeheartedly.
All right, should we get started with the book talk?
You mean about this bad boy? This cluster of a situation?
I don't own a copy of this one. Now I feel left out. Wait a sec. I'm going to get my e-copy up.
Oh, you got the ebook of it?
Yeah.
Hey, that's just financially responsible because ebooks are
Hey, I'm part of the group.
I've actually started reading more ebooks because I can lay in bed and read them without, struggling to see.
Yeah.
True.
I've started getting more ebooks just in the last couple of months because I can actually do a lot of reading while I'm at work doing my general task at work, because my work is like literally just holding up tubes to a machine every 30 seconds. So like I hold up a tube and then I wait 30 seconds and then I take the next tube and I hold that one up to the machine. And so I can sit there and read while I'm doing it, but I can't take things into the lab where I work, but I can take my phone. So I can't take a book, but I can take an ebook. So I've just been reading a lot more on my phones.
That's awesome.
I've got so much more reading done that I can do that.
I need more ebooks and audiobooks because sometimes I forget to bring a book with me when I go somewhere, and then I just sit there playing stupid games on my phone for half an hour while I'm waiting in the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Or for any other miscellaneous appointment.
Audiobooks are my saving grace, for sure.
I feel like those would help me a lot when I babysit, because trying to chase a 2-year-old around my sister's house can't really hold up a book while doing that.
You can't do much while doing that.
So, question. Who is everyone's favorite character in this one?
Ooh, starting with the hard ones.
Yes.
Simon. No, I'm kidding.
I gotta be honest, by the end of it, I think I liked, I don't remember anyone's name anymore. That's not good. That's not a good start.
Ron.
What was the name?
By the stereotype?
Super Simon.
You liked Simon?
Addie. Simon was definitely a fascinating character.
He, oddly enough, felt more realistic than the others.
Yeah. It's definitely like something that you see and read about in the news a lot. So it felt very, very realistic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But,
by the end of it, I actually really liked Addie the most, I think. Her story was quite a relatable one as well.
Absolutely, and out of everyone, I think she had the most character growth.
Yeah, right?
Hands down.
She was kind of the only one that actually had some progression or growth to it. Everyone else was the same as when they started the book. So
I wouldn't say the same, but they definitely weren't far off from where they started.
Yeah.
Like, they all became a little bit more comfortable with who they really are and kind of saw the world through a thicker lens after everything that happened. So that makes sense.
Agreed.
Thank you about the Game of Thrones banners, by the way. I definitely did not decorate my entire living room based on those colors.
And yet my house isn't up there at all.
What are you talking about? Which one's yours?
Either Martell or Tully, apparently.
Oh, yeah, no, I got those like 3 seasons ago, so they didn't really have those banners yet, and I'm too cheap to buy more.
I don't even know what the house colors for those houses are. They all seem to be variations on like red and neutrals.
Stark, Targaryen, Lannister.
Yeah, I know those ones. I mean, like for Martell or Tully or any other houses, I don't know what the house colors are.
Martell, that's not the Dornish people, right?
Yeah, yes, the Dornish people.
Then I have no idea. I think theirs is going to be like shades of yellow and gold. But yeah, I don't know any of the other ones. I have a paper around here somewhere that has the pictures, but I'm too lazy to dig it out because it's probably under a ton of paperwork. Sorry.
It's all good. I have a phone. I could probably find them out myself, but we're supposed to be talking about books.
Yes. Technically, it's almost a book. But I think if it wasn't Addie who was my favorite character, I can't remember his name, but it's the lawyer from Until Proven.
Yeah.
Mainly because he felt like the comic relief character at some points, and those are always my favorite characters.
He was kind of entertaining.
Yeah. Wild hair and little sleep.
So Ben, let's hear about your hatred for Jake.
For who? Jake. Oh, Jake. Mm-hmm. So I have very few positive thoughts about any male character in most books, mainly because they're often used as the villains and that they have a lot of negative stereotypes. Jake, for half a second, I was like, all right, this guy might be decent, because it's that first scene where he's with Addie and he's asking her, hey, is this okay with you? And in the very same sentence, she says, but his hand kept moving anyway.
Yeah.
You made me like you and hate you in the same sentence? And that was the fastest flip I've ever had for someone, because if you're going to ask if anything's okay, you don't keep progressing until they answer the question. And everything went way downhill after that.
Oh, yeah. And then, like, from then on, his characterization was not very realistic. Like,
no.
The first half of the just, like, controlling, manipulative boyfriend makes sense. And then at the end, when he, like, supposedly his motivation is that he flipped out because his girlfriend cheated, and that leads him to go on, like, a post-murder spree social media disaster thing. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Who does that?
Especially because he had that little, when Addie first confessed to him, he had that little conniption fit, for polite phrasing.
Yeah, so then, like, he's been acting nice before then.
Right.
I just didn't,
Dude,
that wasn't a very good plot for me, I thought.
I think that was included as at the very end, just because a lot of people will read the book, and if they don't have someone, get arrested and face the crimes that were committed, they might feel like it wasn't a full circle plot. But I think it would have actually made more sense if it just came out about Simon. I feel like that would have been a much more realistic resolution for everything.
Yeah, I would have liked it if that was it. If it was just Simon and then, like, some automated blog posts or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was kind of weird how Jake was thrown into it.
How what?
How Jake was just kind of thrown into it.
Just like
And the girl.
Random end thing didn't really make any sense.
What was the girl's name that was?
Was it like
Janae?
Julia or something? Jane?
I thought it was Janae, the goth girl.
Yeah.
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 It was like, starts with J.
Yeah, it's either her or Janae is the one that showed up at the, like, wake for Simon at the football field and just cussed everybody out, basically. It's one of those two. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Leah is the one that cussed him out, and Janae is the goth one, I think.
Got it. That sounds right.
There were so many characters to, like, keep straight in this book, too.
Yeah, which was odd, because they would pop up for a scene or two and then you don't hear from them ever again.
Yeah.
Could you not have condensed them down so that way the same person's doing more things? But
I think she
also
wanted to, like, give you more people to suspect.
Mm-hmm. And also it's some people only interacted with one perspective character, so I guess it's also kind of showing that they all had their separate lives, and then they were all thrown together by this incident, so that kind of worked for it in my mind. But I was also me trying to be a little bit forgiving on the writing, because everything else, it was fantastic. I think that character development where it happened was pretty good. I definitely am upset that my chapter 1 theory did not pan out, but
I am so happy that mine did.
No, I did. I was very proud of myself for figuring out what actually happened. I messaged Ben and I was like, this is my theory. And
like, I was so upset because as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah. I read it too fast to be messaging you guys about my theories as I went. But, like, after chapter 1, I was like, the only one smart enough to actually pull off something like this is Simon. Like, no one else is
all too dumb.
Everyone else was too dumb. It was so elaborate.
Okay.
Anyway.
Although one thing that, like, I don't know why it bothered me, because it was definitely just put in as kind of understanding for characters, but when Bronwyn is waiting outside that other school and talks to the kid who had to get his car fixed, she, like, describes his hair and eye color. She's like, oh yeah, is this the guy? Yeah, totally that guy. Most guys don't notice people's hair and eye color unless they talk to them, like, every day. So if he just paid him $1,000 just because, he probably only met him once or twice. So I don't know why that bothered me. It was like I'm being far too picky on this detail. But I've noticed I do that a lot when reading now, which is probably a bad thing.
The writer, part of being a reader and a writer. I do it too. It gets harder and harder to give books like 5-star ratings.
It was funny. Ever since I took the like hybrid of stripped cover lit and Erica from Perks of Books, I kind of put their review styles together and then started working on mine there. Ever since then, I have not given a 5-star review. It just, the math doesn't work out. Like I think this one got a 3.8, so it's like a really high 3, but I still can't give it 4 stars because I round down.
Oh. See, I can with mine because I'll do the normal rounding where if it's like above 5, I round up, and below 5, I round down. So like if something gets like 4.6 stars, that gets to be counted as like a 5-star book. But it's definitely hard because like you're forced to actually think about it and like, am I just rating this 5 stars because I really liked it, or am I taking into consideration the points where this book wasn't doing what it was supposed to?
That's why I'm really just excited that Goodreads might actually listen to the people on the forum at some point in the future, that they might start including half-star reviews, because I would be able to give much more accurate reviews that way. But that's just me being hopeful. Half
stars seems like a no-brainer for the reviews. I don't understand why they haven't done it yet. I feel like everyone rates with like at least a half-star system, even if they don't go as overboard as Ben and I do.
I think that, because I don't really get into like major detail with my ratings, but I do have ratings. I gave this one a 3.5 because I thought it was like okay, but it was a little more than okay.
Yeah, that is a perfect description.
I can't actually find my rating anymore. I think it ended up being a 4-star because it was like slightly above 3.5, but I could be wrong. But it would be 3.5 if I could make it.
Because that just makes more sense. Favorite and least favorite scenes? Jasmine, or Julia, that expression was the perfect summarization about how I felt about this book. Just.
I think my favorite scene was probably the scene where Addie and Jake are like fighting. Well, like where she comes up with the idea to like have her phone and like record him, like because it was just like a smart moment. Like usually they'll have people kind of be dumb in those moments. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it kind of was her, but I kind of liked that scene.
My favorite was the epilogue, because if Nate didn't get his shit together, I was going to be pissed.
I gotta be honest, I think my favorite was actually like the start, like the setup with the murder, just because
that was really well done.
Clever and really well done.
I really did I liked Cooper's character just because he wasn't your stereotypical gay character. Like he was like a manly gay character. Like usually in young adult books, they'll go towards being,
because they want to feed into the stereotype of it. So he definitely felt a little more well-developed than some of the other cliche characters that we had there.
Right.
Because I was actually really upset with the synopsis that they legitimately said, oh yeah, here's one stereotype cookie cutter character, here's another, and here's the 4th one. Come on.
What's the point though?
I
If it's going to be a Breakfast Club style kind of thing, they need to be like given cookie cutter shapes at the start and then sort of transgress them throughout the book.
I mean, you could do that, but don't put it in the synopsis. So you know how many people are going to put it down because, oh God, cookie cutters. Yeah. But I actually really liked Cooper's grandmother. Just a no bullshit kind of person. Absolutely adore her.
She was hilarious. Like her. Rhiannon says yes, what she said that to.
I don't remember. I've been trying to think about what it was. Oh, and least favorite scenes.
Oh yeah, least favorites. The Jake stuff at the end with the like running through the hills explaining why he was involved. I was like, this is bullshit. This doesn't make any sense.
I think my least favorite scene was whenever Jake was at the party and was just like being a shitty person.
He was a pretty shitty person.
I have so much bad things to say, but if I start talking about Jake too much, this will turn into like a 3-hour live stream of me complaining. And it'll probably be like the same 5 points said over and over again. But I think for least favorites, it would probably be the first scene where, or no, it was the description that Cooper was giving when he was talking about how his dad was acting to him after he came out. Like, he looks near me, not at me. Like, that got me really mad. So that was probably my least favorite thing in the entire book, because that's just complete ignorance.
It's sad though, because some people really, they are like that still in today's, world of understanding.
That's why I think that's part of the reason why I don't like it so much, because it is a very realistic reaction.
Yeah.
I have a pop-up window. Why? Do you ladies have any questions on the books or on the book?
I don't know. I wrote some stuff down, but I think we've already covered everything that I've written down.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Jasmine?
I don't know. Did she accidentally turn off her camera?
I don't know. Oh, she disappeared.
Oh no! Perhaps there was a knock at the door.
I don't know if she'll be able to get back in.
I think she should be able to, because the way that the live stream chat works, like you have to actually end the call to make sure people can't join in anymore or something like that.
Oh, okay. I was gonna re-invite her. She could probably still click the same link, right?
I think so.
Okay.
What about everyone in the chat? What's your guys' favorite scene in the book?
Cooper was a favorite of mine. Someone said Crescent Moon.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. He was he had a lot of crap on his shoulders, so he handled it as well as anybody probably could in that situation.
Yeah. I'm trying to like re-add Jasmine. That's why I'm being quiet, just in case.
I gotcha.
Okay, I re-invited. So
wonderful.
Anyway, did you pick a book for next month yet? I haven't picked one yet.
I did. Do you remember the synopsis I sent to the chat?
Oh yeah, yeah. Is that the one?
Yeah, I was looking through the book, many books on my shelves that I haven't read yet, and that one jumped at me. So I figured, let's see what it's about, and I actually really like it. I think it's one of the ones that I got when I was shopping at Goodwill, because $1 for a hardback book, can't beat that.
Yeah. People in the chat, are there any books that you want us to read and talk about?
Oh, that was a really good scene too. The Nate and Cooper in the cafeteria. That one. And I like that it was the one time Nate decided to walk into the cafeteria, even though he hadn't been there in like all year.
You mean like when they all sat together?
Yeah, when when Cooper walked in and they started making fun of him for being gay, and then Nate walked in too, and he basically told everyone what's what.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty. How they were like slut shaming Addie, and then like.
And it was actually the same girl that was being rather promiscuous herself the entire damn book. Like, really?
Critical girl. Yeah, that girl. And she was supposed to be like Addie's friend at the beginning. Bitch.
Ugh. I hate fake people like that. It's just fucking nasty.
Mm-hmm. I liked though when Cooper told her off and was like, how many times have you tried to like get in my pants?
Yeah, that was good. It was definitely, I like the whole, yeah, if a guy was doing what you're doing, he would have been arrested for sexual assault. So you need to stop.
Right. Jasmine, oh, there you are.
Yay!
My computer screen just went completely black out of nowhere. And then it just kind of reloaded again. I don't know what happened there at all.
Oh no, forced updates.
Well, there aren't any that I can see. No.
That's
anyway.
the thing. They're all like the really terrible, you don't really need this update, but we're going to make you do it anyway.
Yep. Definitely something like that.
Hate Windows for that reason.
No control over it at all, bastards. Oh well, sorry. Oh my gosh.
Jasmine,
continue from wherever you were.
Have you picked a book for next month yet, Jasmine?
Oh shit, no.
Aha! I win the prepared trophy.
I haven't picked one either.
My bad.
It happens.
Oh, I've missed so much. Look at all this chatting that's been going on without me. Hooray!
What did you guys think about Nate and Bronwyn? That whole romantic subplot.
How they kind of like broke up towards the end was really dumb.
Yeah, the breakup part was dumb. The rest of it was sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I feel bad though, because it definitely made me feel like that's all that there was to their character arcs.
Literally.
Yeah. We didn't really learn that much about them. That's why what?
That's why I liked Addie so much. She was a queen.
Yes.
Yeah,
I liked her because
definitely unnecessary.
Yeah. I liked Addie because she was an absolute badass and she dyed her hair my favorite color. So that's always a plus.
Yes, you two should get together. Ben and Addie.
Yes, thank you for shipping with a fictional character. That'll definitely help my chance to get a date.
We should all pick fictional partners for each other from the books that we read. That would be awesome.
Well, now it's my turn.
Ben's thinking. He's actually thinking about it. Look at him.
I am.
Can I have Lucian? I like Lucian.
Which one was
Oh,
Lucian?
now we're picking different books. That's from Akatar. Yes, you can have Lucian. I think you might have to fight a few people for him. But at least he's less popular than Reese, so you stand more of a chance of winning.
Exactly.
Oh, you're talking about A Court of Thorns and Roses. I haven't read that one yet. I've read like 80 pages. I started that before BookCon and put it down to read Zenith, and haven't read any of it yet after that.
The first book is kind of only good as a setup for the second book anyway. It's pretty good.
I actually like the first book better than the second book.
I liked the second half of the first book when it gets all like Hunger Games style, but the first half was so slow.
Yeah, it is. That's probably
I
part
kind
of
of like it because I've only just learned that like, because everyone talks about a Court of Thorns and Roses as a Beauty and the Beast retelling, right? Like that's the most thing that most people know about it, is that it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. But it's actually like also supposed to be a retelling of some other Greek myth at the same time, which I didn't know about. But when I learned about it, I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense now. It's like a cross between the two of them. I can't remember what the myth is though.
I want to
Loose.
write a Greek myth retelling. That'd be fun. Ooh, if you had to rewrite any piece of this book, which would it be? Besides the ending, because we all...
Any, like, what, chapter or scene? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Or, like, something more abstract, like character?
It could be a single scene or, like, add more to a certain character, whatever you'd prefer.
Oh. But I only want to get rid of the ending.
Yeah, I think the ending's the only part that's like, ugh.
I might rewrite some of the Addie and Jake stuff. Not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I can't change the ending and the ending has to stay the way it is, I'm not allowed to change the ending, then I would go back and kind of rewrite all of the Addie and Jake stuff to make that actually make more sense for the ending. Because at the moment you're like, that literally nothing that happened before this point makes sense. Like it has to be one or the other.
I gotcha.
And
that would actually it would probably be really easy to fix that, and just with a little internal monologue, being really concerned about the relationship because he's acting really different these last few months. And then at least that would make a little more sense.
Exactly. Or have him actually acting differently rather than still acting like he's totally into her when apparently he isn't. Like as if he's going to be that good an actor.
Right.
He's a sociopath. They're all good actors.
If it would have hurt him so bad to get cheated on, how would he like just pretend everything's so fine and dandy?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I think if I were to rewrite part of it, it would probably be what's Addie's sister's name? Is it Ashley?
Oh,
like
he was kind of cool too.
Yeah, I would have liked to know a little bit more about her. So I definitely get that she was the understanding and supportive sister, and she did that role well. And yes, we did learn a little bit about her background with her soon-to-be ex-husband and all that, but seeing a little bit more of that would have been interesting for me, but that's also like me just trying to find something to work into the book.
I think Crescent Moon Reeds made a really good point, and she said it didn't hurt his feelings. It hurt his pride and his sense of ownership.
Yes, that's the disgusting part of it all.
Yeah. That's like, yeah, so true.
It still was a pretty sociopathic twist to end up going on that much of a rampage about it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did actually have a question kind of related to this. I've seen a few people on like Twitter and other social medias complaining that this book does an unfair representation of like mental illness because of the fact that Simon is mentally ill. And I'm curious to know what you guys think about that.
But why would that be represented though? Like I don't understand why they would say that. Like I thought he was represented pretty well.
I think he really didn't have much representation. All we found out about him was that he occasionally went on the internet to rant, got a little carried away, and then killed himself after years of being depressed. I think if we had seen more of Simon, we'd probably have more information to make a well-rounded decision on how he's represented. Really, we just see all the negative, none of anything else for him. So it's not a bad representation, just incomplete.
Yeah. You done?
Yeah, I think what I can't tell because I didn't ask too much about it because I was halfway through reading the book at the time and I didn't want spoilers. But I think what she was kind of trying to say was that it wasn't, not that he was underrepresented, but that it was like unfair. And I think she was trying to imply that it was too much of a negative representation of mental illness, that like the person with mental illness is the murderer. But I'm not sure.
But did they really say in the book that he had a mental illness?
They didn't say flat out diagnosed XYZ. They just assumed with their little post-it notes that Simon was depressed.
Yeah, he did commit suicide. But I don't know. I personally didn't feel like it was even a very unrealistic representation of a person because, like, I have been to high school with people who have been at least similar, but at least haven't actually gone out and tried to get some kind of murder revenge on people. And like, there's no shortage of stories about people who do end up in situations like that or suffering from mental illness and feelings like that. So I'm not sure.
I'll be right back, guys, because I gotta go change the diaper real fast.
Roger, Dodger.
Hi, Munchkin. I found the myth for ACOTAR, by the way. It is the myth of Cupid and Psyche.
Ooh.
So there's like this story of Cupid and Psyche. Psyche is like a human and she falls in love with a god. And then someone gets mad at her for falling in love with a god and gives her a whole series of impossible tasks that she has to prove that she can do in order to get her lover, who is Cupid, back, who has been like stolen.
Huh.
So she gets told that she has like one night to do this one particular thing, and it looks like it's going to be impossible for her to do because she's a human, but other gods and people come in and like sneakily help her so that she can get it done and get her god husband back.
That's one of the things I absolutely love about Greek mythology. There's so much shady shit going on in the background.
So much shady shit. So like anyone who's read ACOTAR, which you haven't, will be like, hey, that makes so much more sense now. But maybe that's a bit more exciting than just a straight Beauty and the Beast retelling, Ben.
Well, I mean, I was completely okay with the idea of the Beauty and the Beast retelling. It's just, I'm still in the beginning slow part of the book. So like,
yeah,
it's to get interested. I think the last scene that I read was when, who's the guy that actually picked up Feyre? I can't remember hardly anyone's name.
Tamlin.
Tamlin just left to go kill that invisible thing.
Ah.
Yeah, so
right.
very early in the book.
Not chapter 2, but very early.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the start is very slow. No one is denying that.
Here's a random question. If you could pick any myth or legend to have a urban fantasy or YA fantasy retelling kind of story, which would you pick? Completely unrelated to the book that we're reading today, but a question.
Ooh. But there's so many good ones. Ah. I spent a semester studying like classical mythology in university because I love to pick the random subjects that everyone's like, why would you study that? And there are just so many hilarious stories. Like even the story of supposedly how the world got created according to the Greeks is hilarious. Like they can't do anything by halves. The dude who decided to like eat all of his sons. Like what?
Yeah, because some lady with a third eye, or was it one eye, said that one of them was going to kill him. And then ironically enough, that's why he kills him.
Yeah. I love it. Excellent. I might retell that one. That would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Greek gods eating their children.
Oh.
Sorry. Things escalated quickly while you were gone.
Yeah.
I would probably want to read a retelling of Eurydice. I can never say that right the first time. The story of Orpheus and Eurydice.
Ooh.
Yeah. I actually didn't
a
outline
really nice
that
story.
a year ago. It did not work out well.
That's such a lovely story, though.
Right? It ends terribly like most Greek myths, but it was a heartwarming story. I mean, the man wanders.
Also, Greek myths. I feel like every time we do a Booktube book club about a book, we end up talking about A Court of Thorns and Roses instead.
We always do. Have you guys seen this?
No.
Oh, that's so pretty.
I like it though.
Talk more
got it
again.
In my Fairy Loot box like a couple months ago. And it's awesome.
I love it. I used to be obsessed with mythology as a girl. Like, I have so many books of like just dictionaries of mythological people and terms and bind-ups of myths and legends from different places around the world. I'm such a weird kid.
Well, I'm just a weird adult then, because my browsing history is just all kinds of different mythological terms and creatures, because for my own writing, I absolutely adore mythology, so I like to borrow from it as much as I can. I'm constantly looking up new things, and some of them are, like, if you didn't know that I wrote, it would probably concern you, because people are looking up some weird things.
I've got some mythology stuff in my book, too.
I've noticed a little bit of it, Julia. A little bit of mythology there.
There's more, like, as you get into it.
Ooh. I need to sit down and do a lot more reading for you. I have been busy. Sorry.
You're fine. Whenever you get to it. Jasmine, you should not buddy read, but beta read for me too.
I really want to. Bring it on.
I'll send it to you.
Speaking of which, actually, I got a parcel notification the other day that I think might be your book, Ben.
Woo.
I have a feeling it might have arrived. Yeah. On Monday.
That's actually one of my favorite things that I get. Like, people will message me all the time. Yeah, I got your book in the mail today. Like, I sent one to Molly, Natalie, and Clara. And then all at random times, I will get messages saying, "Oh yeah, I finally got a notification or the package slip," and I just like, yeah, it's an exciting thing for me. I'm a huge nerd for it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm excited. And yes, please let me read your book, Julia. I totally want to read it. Is this the start of our editing and publishing company?
Yes. Happening.
I am all for all of that because it would be exciting.
It would be so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of publishing, though, and like small publishing companies, did you guys keep up with the story about the publishing company scamming their way to the top of the bestseller list that was happening on Twitter like yesterday?
No.
Gosh, it was amazing. So publishing companies get like an advanced release of what the New York Times bestseller list is going to be for like a week in advance. Just, I don't know why, but they do. They get like a digital copy before it goes to print. And some random book that was called like The Handbook for Mortals had made its way to the top of the YA hardcover list, like, and beaten The Hate You Give, which has been up there for like 25 weeks now. And it was published by this company that has only just started publishing. It's like an offshoot of Geek Nation, the website.
Mm-hmm.
They've just started doing publishing as well. And they literally only just started publishing like 2 weeks beforehand. And then somehow this book made it to the top of the sales list. And so these two random Twitter guys like full on went into research on it and figured out exactly what was going on using Twitter and messaging different independent booksellers to find out how they managed to scam their way to the top of the list. And the thread is amazing. Like, it was the most interesting thing I'd read in a long time.
Please link
This
that.
company, they like followed the tour of like Wizarding World or whatever it's called, the World Wizarding Convention, around America, and found indie bookshops in each of the towns and bought just under enough for it to be counted as like still a normal purchase instead of like a bulk buy or corporate sale. Sells apparently that's 80 books. So they'd buy like 79 books from each bookstore in that town. But they wouldn't buy them, they'd like pre-order them for an event. And so like it was just a weird mess where like they pre-ordered like 18,000 books even though they hadn't even printed any books, because none of these bookshops even had copies of the books yet because it was all pre-sales. So they'd like order all these books and then cancel on them later because they could cancel it because no one was going to ship the books because the books weren't even printed. Or something weird like that.
That's so dirty.
It was phenomenal. It was like you should find the Twitter thread because it was so cool seeing these people figure it out. Like they're sending all these screenshots as indie bookshops are like coming in and saying, yes, actually that happened to me. I got a phone call from this person. I got a phone call ordering this many books and they said it was because of a movie or because of an event. And
that's absurd and I love it.
The crux of it is that The Hate You Give is the bestseller for next week again. And now it's been up there for 25 weeks.
I still need to read that. I haven't read it yet.
I need to read it too, but there's so much hype around it that I'm kind of concerned.
Yep, I feel you.
But I'm like that with all books. If there's too many people that say they love it, I'm concerned I'll just hate it, almost on principle.
That was me as a kid, and also probably me now too. Yes, they'd already planned a movie for the book with the author lined up to play the lead, and the lead band that she used to manage lined up to play the next movie to play the other character. It was phenomenal.
Talking about its way to the top.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it was amazing.
Good Lord. People are oddly creative in the ways they try and get ahead.
But then, like, these just two Twitter dudes talking to each other figured it out.
That's the best part. Randoms on the internet have almost no time, so they're going to find you out.
Yeah. And then there was, like, fan art of them coming out as detectives and stuff as well already, because the internet is a wonderful place.
Yes.
We just really got off on a tangent.
Sorry.
We do that a lot.
Oh,
I feel like the live stream should be like just labeled book talk for half of it, and then the rest is we don't know.
yeah.
That's what all live streams should be, though. That's why the Read, React, Repeat one was so good, because half of it was just roasting Cam, and then maybe 10% of it.
Poor Cam.
I'm so glad we don't roast each other like that.
Look what happened.
Oh, no!
I tried to
Ironically enough, the reason I started wearing contacts is because the same thing happened to my glasses, and I'm too cheap to get new glasses.
This is my second pair of glasses in like 6 months, and these were like $200 pair of glasses, so I'm like really mad.
That's beyond upsetting.
Oh, hi, Rhiannon.
Lovely chatting with you. Thank you for coming by.
Hi. I should probably get contacts. Do you feel weird touching your eyeball though?
No. You definitely feel a little weird the first time or two, and you're also concerned you're just gonna like put your finger through your eye because you have to close one, so your depth perception is garbage. But after once or twice, you tend to get the hang of it pretty quick.
Every time I watch my mom, she's all like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't have to wear glasses or contact lenses.
I was so upset this morning. I ended up dropping my contact on my bathroom floor, which is white tile.
Oh, no.
Because it's all blurry, so I spent like 15 minutes just on the floor looking at everything, trying to find the damn contact. Ends up that it was actually caught like on the very lip of the sink, so I spent that time on the floor for nothing.
Oh.
It was not a good morning.
That's horrible. I'm sorry.
It happens.
Need to pick up.
What are we picking? Yeah. What's our books that we're choosing for next month?
I guess we'll have to do a book.
I already have mine.
Aw, that's a good
Blood,
start.
Salt, Water by Denise Mead.
Beat you again.
I'm gonna go look and see if I can.
I'm gonna be so mad. I've prepared for this one.
Oh, must beat you. Okay, I'm gonna look through my Book Buddy app and see what I can find.
I think that there's going to be a plot twist with this book club that you're actually the most competitive person here.
Never.
I'm sensing a wee bit of sarcasm there.
I just bought
What?
this.
Keep talking, because I want to see it for longer.
Oh, you want to see it for longer? Here it is, guys. Isn't it pretty?
It's very pretty. What's it about?
Winterden asks to be the guardian of the wood, but when her dad inexplicably vanishes, she's the one who must protect travelers who accidentally slip through its portals. The wood is poisoned, changing into something more sinister. Once brightly colored leaves are now bubbling inky black. Vicious creatures that live in the shadow are becoming bolder, torturing lost travelers. Winter must then put her trust in Henry, a young man from 18th century England who knows more than he should about the wood in order to find the truth and maybe those they've lost.
Ooh.
I thought it sounded good.
Yeah, a little fantasy, a little mystery.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
No, I need to find one.
Shall I talk about Michael?
Yes.
Try and
Spruik it.
Water by Dania. Did I say the name right? Yes. One in the series number. I'm sorry?
You're breaking up and like.
Yeah, you died for a second there.
I'm sorry. Weird. And that's actually been happening. Like the live stream freezes for me for a few seconds. But it's a mystery series. They all follow Alex as she solves various crimes. But the synopsis for this one: Detective Alex Morrow discovers that the darkest secrets never stay buried as she investigates the criminal underbelly of a seemingly tranquil seaside town. For reasons she can't quite explain, Alex Morrow is addicted to watching surveillance footage of Roxana, I can't say that last name, a gorgeous Spanish mother of two, in a tempestuous relationship with her boyfriend who recently relocated to Glasgow under mysterious circumstances. She's also Morrow's prime suspect in an investigation that resembles a soap opera, with glamorous jet setters and enough money to interest the highest levels of law enforcement, until Roxana vanishes. Morrow traces Roxana's steps to Helensburgh, a sleepy, picturesque seaside community, but behind the idyllic Victorian homes in quaint storefronts, darkness lurks. Home to a man with blood on his hands and who is haunted by guilt, a mysterious woman with ulterior motives back in town for the first time in decades, a sexually frustrated restaurateur looking to blow off steam, and a crew of vicious small-time gangsters blindly following orders. It's a town ruled by base instincts where no one is quite what they seem. And it's the perfect place to get rid of someone. When she uncovers an unsettling connection to Roxana's job back in Glasgow, Morrow suspects that her missing person is more than a white-collar criminal on the lam. She may also be a victim caught in a sophisticated conspiracy that stretches far beyond Helensburgh and is more personal than Morrow ever imagined. As the truth rises to the surface and the conflicts that lie beneath Helensburgh's calm waters threaten to explode, Morrow must find Roxana before any hope of solving the case disappears with her. That was a lot longer than I remembered reading it in my head.
There's so much in that.
And it's actually not that long of a book. It's 295 pages. So I'm assuming that it's all going to be very dense, like a lot of condensed information.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's condensed well, though.
Jazz, have you picked something yet?
I'm tossing up between two books. I'm trying to figure out when one of these is actually getting released because I can't tell when it's being released. Give me 1 second.
I see.
I'm going to do a quick Google. What?
If either book has purple on the cover, I picked that one.
Oh, okay. This one's getting published on the 5th of September, apparently. I think. Pardon?
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
Like,
yeah, I think this is my choice. And everyone's going to be like, you're going to know this book. I think it's getting a lot of hype at the moment, but I'm really curious about it. And that is They Both Die at the End.
Oh, I already have that. I have the arc for it.
Well,
have you read it?
I haven't read it yet. Did you find out when it comes out? Because I can tell you. It's on the book.
5th of September.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I think that's what I want. Do you know much about it, man?
No, I just like the fact that their shadows make the Grim Weeper.
What?
Yeah, so there's like it's supposed to be set in kind of this world, but there's some kind of organization that calls you up on midnight the day that you're going to die and tells you, hey, dudes, you're going to die today. But it doesn't tell you when, like whether it's early in the day or late in the day, and it doesn't tell you how. You just know that you're going to die on that day. And then there's this app that's called like The Last Friend, where you can find people who are also dying on that day and get together and try and live like for that day. And so it's about two boys that meet up on this app because they know they're going to die that day and they don't know how. Make the most of that final day before they die.
That's kind of morbid. I like it.
Yeah. Always
really
slightly fascinated with the morbid things in life. Anyway, I think that's my choice. Hooray!
I like it.
Now we can do a poll.
Do we have anything else that we feel like we need to say about this book?
I think I described Jake pretty clearly in that one sentence in the group chat, but I don't want to say it here because of terms used.
Huh.
I'll find it. I'll send it again to the group chat. But I'm trying to make sure I don't say too many bad words. I don't know how the age of everyone watching.
Yeah, fair enough.
Keep it PG-13.
Just in case.
That's why you.
For all you know, the rest could be easily offended.
Well, that is the internet. It is a wonderful place, and it's a very sensitive place.
That is true.
Well, guys, do we want to call it a night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this
Call it
is.
a night for me and Ben. Call it a morning for Jasmine.
Morning.
The funny thing is, I'll probably be here for another few hours because why not? Oh, yeah, this has been running for an hour. That's not bad.
For 50 boxes.
What?
50 bucks.
I got to print shipping labels for 50 boxes.
Oh, God. Did you get my samples? Did they arrive yet?
Not yet.
Okay. They should be there like super soon. She said it was 6 business days of delivery, so they should be there like Monday.
I can't wait to see them.
Yay, same. Actually, I think I just remembered it has a tracking number. I should send it to you because
Yeah, and then I can make sure I get it.
yeah. Anyway.
Yep, we're saying bye, and I'll be out in a minute, okay?
Okay.
All right, well, I'll post that, the poll.
Poll.
All righty then.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Have a nice day and night, everybody.
You too.